Yeah. Welcome to my window, where I'm transparent enough to let you use your screen to peer into my mind. So boom. Today I might actually ramble because there's just so much going on, from hate groups to hurricane victims to DACA. There's just a lot going on in this country right now. At one point I even called it the New Babylon, but that's neither here nor there. In plain terms, I'm drawing the American flag, but the citizens actually seem to be imprisoned by a symbol that once represented equality and equity and freedom and opportunity. And the flag colors will be dulled out because these ideas are no longer present in our country as much as they used to be. The center symbol of Lady Liberty's torch will be the main staple of this piece because there's a phrase that stood out to me: liberty and justice for all. First, I'll focus on liberty. When has that ever really existed for all citizens of this nation? Even to this day, that's not an active pursuit by the government or many factions in general. Everyone has their own agenda, their own plans to be the most free in speech and actions, instead of setting mandates and laws to urge people to act as a collective so that the various backgrounds of people who live here, they can at least be treated equally as human beings. However, in order to meet the needs for equality, there must also be a space for equity. And equity and equality are not always the same. Now, equity is distributing resources to meet the needs of the people appropriately. So say you have two kids, right? They're ready to go to college, they're all ready and stuff, and one is coming from a fairly well-off family, while the other, despite his family's best efforts, is not as financially stable. Why then should the government give them both a $50,000 grant? Equity would look more like giving the first student, who was well off, $25,000, and giving the second student, who was less well off, $75,000, because it meets both of their needs in such a way that fairly allows them both to be able to achieve opportunity at a new school according to both of their needs. That's what it comes down to. Equal opportunity. That's equity. So that's similar to what's happening with DACA, right? It's like not a free ride like most people think for children of immigrants. It's a work permit so that they can have their opportunity to put themselves and their families in a better position for financial freedom in this country. What's more is that the application itself is like $450, bro. And they pay taxes that they don't even receive benefits from. Like, they don't get Social Security benefits or anything like that. They pay for it, though, in taxes, but they don't receive that. That's something to think about. But, others have claimed that they're taking jobs from Americans, but I don't think that's true, because this is not available to all immigrants. It's not like everybody is just signing up and then they're just waltzing into the country. It's like, it's not an easy program to get into in the first place, because they do rigorous background checks. They make sure that everything is in check, and make sure that you're not lying. They make sure that you're not trying to take advantage of the system. You know what I'm saying? And immigrants in general are often doing the jobs that average American citizens do not want to do. They don't have access to nearly as much opportunities as we do. So even then, there's still sort of a ceiling, but they came here because they believe they're better off than where they used to be. They now have some type of hope. But still, the main reason why many people don't want immigrants is because they fear that they may lose out on opportunities for good job placements, or things might change a lot for them due to the sheer number of immigrants. And with all these natural disasters like the hurricanes and wildfires, people are losing properties left and right. But at the end of the day, it's still fear that's fueling these perspectives of losing what you once had, or losing the opportunities, or I might even say the privileges that you might have once had. It's fear and depression because of change, when in reality, no one is kicking them out. Nobody is taking things away from them on a huge level. They're just trying to even the playing field so that everybody has, once again, equal opportunity. I feel like this type of logic can be related to like the Charlottesville riots in some sense an extreme case, in other senses maybe not so extreme. They claim that they were being pushed out and had less opportunities or weren't being heard because more people of color or more people of different backgrounds were speaking up more. Yes, they have free speech to say whatever they want about how they feel. But when that free speech becomes threatening hate speech, then I believe action needs to be taken against that. Not in a violent way either, definitely not in a violent way, but we need to collectively move against stuff like that, because in some of these interviews, people were talking about genocides and taking people, like removing people out, like whole families and everything. And all our president had to say was that there were well-meaning participants on both sides of the issue, especially when he had to speak about this because somebody had died. All I'm saying is, if liberty and justice do not go hand in hand, there is no room to practice our freedoms, or not enough freedoms to see proper justices be fulfilled. There just have to be more mandates and policies that ensure the people of this nation have economic equity and equality in opportunities and interactions with one another, and the freedoms to live without having to constantly search to look over your shoulder out of fear, and being able to interact with one another and being able to collectively pursue happiness and joy and peace in this nation, because that's ultimately what we need, because that's what we've presented this nation to be, a symbol of peace and hope and freedom and opportunity, most especially. But recently I've noticed that the more opportunities that we try to create, the more that people who have benefited from certain privileges want to see those opportunities be wiped out, despite what they say about, about agreeing that everyone should be able to have equal opportunity, equal freedom. They just say you can't do it here. And I thought that's what America was in the first place, or at least that's what people claim it was. So it just has me thinking about a lot of different things. Grace and peace, y'all.